Okay. Here's where I think I'm going to lose some of yous. Now, Celtics have been absolutely dominant. No problem, right? I know everyone's got their brooms out. I saw brooms on Causeway before Game 2. Brooms are out. Okay. Listen, I think the Mavs win Game 3. I think going back home is exactly what the doctor ordered for Kyrie. So I'm going to imagine he's going to actually show up in this series for the first time. Luka's going to continue to be Luka. And although I've given the Celtics a ton of credit defensively for shutting down the others, as I've called them, I still believe when you're at home, you get that home cooking, you get the refs. I mean, don't get me started on the refs in Boston. I'm glad, so I don't want to jinx anyone and start complaining about the calls the Mavs didn't get at the end of the game. Who gives a rat's ass about that? But when you go back home and you're Dallas, you will get those calls. You will get the benefit of the doubt. So I think the home cooking between the refs, the home cooking for Kyrie, he's got to play better than he has been. Luka being Luka. I'm going to take the Mavericks to win Game 3, and that's going to be it. I think with the psyche of this Celtics team, let's just go for the sake of the conversation between you and I. Let's say the Mavericks win Game 3. Well, all the pressure, of course, at that point is back on Boston because they know we've got to win Game 4. You cannot allow this Mavericks team, who we are clearly better than, to get in this series and to tie it to a piece. So I'll take the Celtics in an urgent, gotta-have-it hostile game in Dallas to really show their championship medal. That's what championship teams do. They'll win that, go up decisive 3-1, and then we know how the rest of the story will end. So I'm just predicating this on the Mavericks are too talented to get swept, I believe. And going back home right now, timing-wise, is the best thing. I mean, I'm watching Luka just become unhinged out here. He's going off on people. He's shoving people. He's sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sure Kyrie wants nothing more than to get out of Boston. So I'll take the Mavs in Game 3 in a close game. And it'll probably be ugly, a lot like Game 2 is. But make no mistake, Banner 18 continues to load. And you all continue to put on for your city. I've talked about it. Let's take a look. Here I was with you before Game 2.
Jaylen Brown, take me inside the locker room. Are y'all getting your brooms out? Y'all about to sweep these boys? What's going on, JB?
That one I plead the fifth.
Celtics at 4, baby.
I mean, I'm feeling lucky tonight, so.
Listen, this Celtics team is a wagon. I don't expect anything less than a sweep.
How do you feel?
I agree. 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I hope Tatum goes off tonight. 50.
Yeah. We're saying 40 or 50 for Tatum.
All right, tell me about your dogs, man.
Hey, man, these are my Frenchies, Blue and Casper. They come out to rep the Celtics today, you know?
What your team going to do, though? That's what I want to know.
Hey, man, we're gonna close it out for a 2-0 lead in the finals. You know we got to do what we got to do. We got to come on strong again, and we got to get that dub.
We're going for 18 this year. Yeah, let's get it. Let's beat the Mavs. Let's eat it up. Let's lock in. Let's win tonight. Let's go. Go Celtics. Let's go.
I love this city. I really do. All right, let's bring him in. Ante Campbell, producer extraordinaire. What are you thinking, man? You originally had the Mavs winning this series. I can't even say it with a straight face. Man. Clearly, you're coming up off of that. What do you think? Mavs win Game 3, or am I tripping?
Look, I have to say, this Mavericks team is not the Mavericks team that we saw throughout the Western Conference run.
Yeah.
They look lethargic in Game 1 and 2. They look sleepy. You got 9 points from their bench last night.
Right.
I just don't know what
they suck.
What the moment, like it looks like the lights are too bright. Like we got a Jared Allen moment where they're looking like they're not ready to play. Like it's the finals. My whole thing is when I played, it was all effort for me. Like I was effort all the time. I remember having conversations with my family members after games, and they'll be like, "You didn't play hard enough. You got to play even harder." And I'm like, "Dang." I'm over here diving on the floor doing it. So my family was all predicated on you got to give more. If you didn't win, you got to give more. Right. And I don't see this from this Mavericks team right now. So I'm going to agree with you, though. I'm gonna say the Mavericks are gonna get it done in Game 3.
Okay.
And at least extend this series to 5, and maybe it's a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
But dude, there's just the same issues that I talked to you about in Game 1.
Yep.
Are still here in Game 2. Why does Derek Lively look like he's afraid to jump and be big and be athletic like he is?
Right.
Getting that one dunk from him is not enough. He had that opportunity to score with Peyton Pritchard standing under the rim, and he shot a floater.
Oh.
Like, I hate this new era of, like, the big not being able to do a post move.
Yeah.
It's tiring, bro.
Right. It is.
And then the same thing. Jason Kidd is waiting way too long to call these timeouts.
Yeah, they're
for his
getting
team.
smoked.
There were so many moments in this game where it was like, okay, they're playing bad, but they're within 5.
Right.
Just call a timeout. Let's clean this all up.
Yeah.
And no, he just wait for the Celtics
Is
to
that
punch.
is that the player in him? Because think about this, Tay. I mean, he was a great, not good. He was an all-time great point guard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen point guards get ticked off sometimes when coaches take timeouts and they feel like, let us play this out. And as a point guard, you feel like a leader.
Yeah.
Is that some of the leftover player in him, you think? Because I agree with you. I'm like, take a timeout. You guys are getting smoked. And he won't do it. He'll just let his team play through it. Do you think that's a point guard in him, maybe?
Yeah, I would say so a little bit because I remember being point guard and just thinking the same thing when my coach called a timeout too early. He was like, hold on, let me play through it. But the difference is the body language of his point guard, Luka Doncic.
Right.
Luka looked like he was frustrated.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
Dude, somebody help me.
Yeah.
When you got that look of like, bro, and then he's crying to the refs like he always does.
Somebody help.
Somebody help me. You know what I'm saying? When you got that kind of look, that's when it's time for the coach to step in and be like, okay, yeah I know Luka is experienced. He's been playing professional basketball for a long time. But in those moments, that's when he's showing his youth. Yeah. In those moments when the team is like going the other way, we need more of that Jaylen Brown attitude.
Right.
Of like, hey, you all right? You going to make the next one. We don't see that with Luka right now as a leader. As far as what we can see on the television, you know what I mean?
No,
or not being in the locker room.
I said he looked to me, he looked unhinged as that game went on and that frustration. And by the way, they were in the game.
Right.
But he was very upset.
He started throwing behind the head passes off of Tatum's face.
Yeah, that was
out of bounds. You know what I'm saying?
The turnovers were insane.
He was just doing whatever. So
what do you think, the hooper in you? What's up with Kyrie? Is it defense? Is it mental? Is it both? What's going on?
I just think he has too much going on in his mind.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And he can't focus on basketball. I think he's trying to. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to focus on basketball. I think he's trying to get past this moment. Now, 0-12 since he stepped on Lucky. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think, I told you this before. He probably needs to kiss Lucky to break the curse. You know what I mean?
He ain't doing that.
After he stumped it on the way out from the arena last night, I hope he kissed Lucky just to get it, get back in his good graces.
I guarantee you he ain't do that, bro. I guarantee it.
But yeah, I think Kyrie just has too much going on. And when you can see that as a player, like when you have stuff that are going on off the court, obviously this is a kind of an on the court, off the court issue. When you have that going on and like shots that you usually make aren't going in, it starts to add up. You know what I'm saying? And our coaches always used to tell us, like, you got to eliminate those off-court distractions as much as possible. And when you're on a big stage like the finals, obviously it's going to come to an end at some point. And I told you this with the Denver Nuggets, with all of their issues that they had with their issues off the court as well. Eventually it's going to come to haunt you. And I think it's that moment right now for Kyrie where these issues that he's had as a leader and, all the media issues that he's had as a whole are kind of coming up. And it's just taking a toll on him. Now, I think he's going to be better in Game 3. I think, like you said, he's ready to get out of Boston.
Get out of here.
He needs to leave. He needs to, get back into the good graces of his city and really get in that attack killer mode. But, yeah, man, it's tough to watch as a basketball fan once again because I want to see Tatum be Tatum. I want to see Kyrie be Kyrie. I want to see Luka be Luka.
Everyone at their best.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. So it's tough to see all of these guys kind of struggling with their roles. And as I talked about with, Porzingis, obviously seeing him stumble a little bit and not looking like himself at the end of the game. And I hope he's all right. I want to see him at full strength as well. So it's going to be an interesting series to watch. I think it's done, though, honestly. Whether it goes 5, 6, whatever, I think this is the Celtics championship to lose.
All right.
But I'm gonna,
Parade time.
I'm gonna officially say Celtics in 6.